Alright, meet me on 52nd Street. Blunt man on Udall Street, selling Lucy. What you catching the hell?
WestSide, see the block all hot. Street so cold, no grind, no shine. You know how it go. I used to risk my freedom for some sneakers and clothes. Wait before niggas practice get lemonade. Fuck the war in Iraq, it's a war out back. Real niggas, fake niggas, shit, all of them strapped. See them niggas is hungry, and them bitches is thirsty. Young and only 16, but his clip hold 30. He don't listen to mine, shit, he listen to Boozy. He rather go to the block than go to the movies. He rather stick up a lane than play a video game. Real life GT5, this shit is insane. See the politicians bogus, the streets is atrocious. I'm super sucker free, trying to stay focused. More money, more crimes. I learned that from Big.
How'd you really get started in this music thing? Like, when did you first notice that you had this craft for hip hop?
First of all, like, you know, thank y'all for interviewing me. My name is Tone Trump, obviously. I'm from West Philly, you know what I'm saying, the west side of Philadelphia. And, like, I like to say that, you know, growing up in the hood, like a lot of, like most kids, we all got the same goals normally because we feel like, you know, when you young in the ghetto, you see the people that's winning, and, you know, usually one, you know, you got an idea, the drug dealer, you got that you got the athlete, and normally you got the rapper. And for me, like, I guess I tried my hand at all of those things, and the difference with the music thing was it went from being like a hustle to a passion. Like, I really fell in love with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's something that I just, you know, I love every aspect of it. You know, it started off as just, you know, you want to rap to get girls and get money and shit and get known, and then, but what happens is when you develop a distinct love for something, and I'm talking about, like, I'm a self-made artist. You know, I do everything from, you know, I help produce my records to picking out all my beats to, you know, to everything. So every aspect of this for me is so important. And, you know, the other things I tried my hand at, you know, I wasn't good enough for the NBA. You know, I wasn't very good at selling drugs. And you know, when I fell in love with this music and with this culture and just, not just rapping, but entertainment, period, it became something that I just want to succeed and excel at. And, you know, I love doing it. You know, the fact that I can make money has now become a bonus because I will probably do this shit for free. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope that I'm able to make a living. I'm just happy to, you know, to be, you know, some of the things, you know, the last couple of years, you know, being able to, you know, headline my own tour, you know, being on the cover of magazines, being featured in magazines. I used to, you know, those magazines I used to steal. That now I'm in them, you know what I'm saying, to be real with you.
Right.
It's mixtapes, DJs that I used to bootleg, and now I work with them. You know, I used to get their bootlegs, and now they're like my friends, and, you know, just being in the car and hearing my song come on the radio. There's so many different things of it, you know what I'm saying? You know, having my girl tell me, you know, like, I'm on a morning show, you know, speaking about political shit, and she on her way to work and hearing me on the radio. There's certain things that you can't even express the phone. Going to other cities and being recognized in the airport and shit like that. Like, all those small victories lead up to big victories, but I enjoy it every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? So I just love this game, man. The game comes first, and, you know, I feel like you get in what you put out. So if I'm giving 1,000% of me, I feel like the thing that's going to come, the reward is going to be just something great. And that's what I'm banking on.
Man,
so for those that don't know me, the best thing, because I get asked, you know, that's typically the first question you get. And I feel like I probably answer it different every time. But the one thing I will say is, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't like to say Google me. I think that's the corniest shit somebody to say, or one of the corniest things is just Google me. I don't want you to Google me, but I definitely want you to do your homework and see the growth. You know, I've been in the eye of the public and the internet for the last few years, so people have seen me make mistakes and seen me, you know, go through different things, and all through it all, you know, I try to keep my morals and my integrity intact and learn from my mistakes, learn from my successes, learn from my failures, learn from other successes and failures. And I'm a hard-working dude. I'm humble, but I'm confident, and, you know what I'm saying? So definitely, you know, check me out, man. Like, you know, I got a lot of videos out there, a lot of music, and I got a new project coming at the end of this month, November 30th, WestSide Story, the EP. And it'll be a definite good look. That's a definite project that I need y'all to check for, that y'all will get to know a lot about me, because it's real, like, autobiography or whatever you want to say. It's kind of like that, you know what I'm saying?
All right, yeah, and And some of the things that you said, which makes a lot of sense when you speak about integrity and you speak about, being able to have a level of honor and carry that into your music and your career, which a lot of these artists, they might not be critiqued with that because they're so young coming into the game, and there's no one really to lace them up and show them some of those types of morals and values that they should carry with themselves, which is important to know, especially from somebody that's already in there, because you got to be able to treat people a certain way, and it's real important, how you treat people on the outside, but behind the scenes, it's even more important how you treat those people too. And
absolutely.
I wanted to ask you, so you said, you were playing ball, you tried to do the hustle in the streets and stuff like that, and is that, like, right there, that moment, is that when you decided that you knew this was time to make it a professional career and not a hobby so much?
One thing about me, like, I'm a hustler, I'm saying? I'm a born hustler, but I'm also a very smart hustler. So I'm going to tell you, for me, the moment, I'll never forget. There was a guy who wrote for the Philadelphia Daily News, our biggest newspaper in Philadelphia, for the entertainment section. And one day I'm just reading through the paper, bullshit along through the paper, and I saw that he had an email on his, where they write the articles, they had the little email and the phone number shit. So I called the number. I wasn't real computer literate back then, so I called the number and left a voicemail. And the dude got back to me. His name Damon C. Williams, dope dude who used to write for The Source, a lot of other stuff too. And at the time he was writing for the entertainment section of Daily News. He called me right back. I was like, yo, bring me something down, whoop, whoop. Me being the hustler I am at the time, I didn't have shit. I didn't have really anything to bring him. I just had this idea. I'm rapping now. My name's Tom Trump. I'm from West Philly. I want to be a rapper. So I got together. I immediately got together. I went to this little studio I knew about. Got in there with the dudes. I told them, I said, y'all got this. I got to drop this stuff together. I need to put something together. I recorded like 4 joints, got a little cover made, and I wrote him a handwritten note. And he did an article. He did an article on, and the article was dope as shit. And it's in the biggest. Imagine like you go like niggas ain't even know I rap shit, and now I'm in the biggest city. I'm talking about like this our New York Times. You know what I'm saying? Like my mother opened it up like, yo, what the hell? I mean, my picture and everything. I put my crew down. So, for me, the reaction I got from that was real big in me saying, like, yo, I got to do this shit, you know what I mean? So I started, putting my shit together and just, one thing, like you said, few people right, it's something I always did. Like, so behind the scenes, I was building a lot of great relationships. Even before I was getting the music and the foundation together, I was building great relationships. And I always had heart, so I would go anywhere, any show, any hood, anywhere, and get my face and my name out there. And that's when I think I really started developing, like, winning is addictive, is an addiction. Winning is a drug too. So success is a drug, and attention is a drug. So I got hooked on that shit. Like, I started seeing
competitiveness.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So and then I started seeing, and then at the same time, it was, Philadelphia had a few music movements that was winning. So I think that's inspiring when you're seeing people from where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in Kansas City, it's hard to get too excited about somebody from Brooklyn making it. But if you're from there, somebody from where you're from makes it, it makes it feel like, well, shit, if he could do it, I could do it. So I definitely got to salute all the movements from Philly, state poverty and shit like that, like seeing them dudes doing what they was doing, and you say, damn, this shit is real, like, you know what I'm saying?
And there's something I want to say, because I remember interview that Jada Kiss had actually done, and he said, I've been all over the world, and some of the nicest and most hungriest artists are right out of Philly, hands down.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he said.
A lot of people have said that. I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding. I mean, if you look at like a lot of the moguls in the game and a lot of the big dudes in the game, and I can connect the Philly artists to almost anybody you say. From Timberland, he had Miss Jade. Pharrell had Roscoe P. Coltrane. Puff Daddy had E-Ness when he did that Bane shit.
Right.
Jay-Z whole label was from Philadelphia. Dr. Dre had Eve at one point. He was from Philadelphia. Rick Ross with Meek, Young Jeezy with me. I mean, the list goes on. Like all these different major people. You know what I mean? You got to think there's a lot of places in the world you can find artists there, and for some reason they all commonly had a Philly artist. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know, that's a lot of the big dogs in the game. So that's not by accident. You know what I mean? And that just shows a lot of talent, a lot of hunger here. So that's definitely something. And now it's about getting over to the next level so we can get in executive positions, and that's where it's really at. Because, you know, nobody want to be a worker forever. At some point, you want to be an owner and a boss. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then with you, you know, and I know you did a lot of work with a lot of the local cats and a lot of Philly artists out there. When was the one moment that you really knew that you did something that was getting seen by the right people?
I think the biggest thing for me, when I start really traveling and seeing the reaction, like, I think that was for me, like, was the big thing, because Philly is a place that's real tough. People in Philly will know who you are and shit like that and won't say nothing to you. So it's like they won't give you that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Philly is like so prideful, I guess you could say. So it's like niggas will be your biggest fan in Philly and won't say nothing to you. But then I start going to other places and people want to take pictures with me and my autographs and shit like that and just screaming my name and knowing my slogans and different things. And, you know, when I never forget, like I said to you, when I first started, I wasn't real computer literate. So I wasn't really on the internet like that. And then one day somebody was hitting me and was like, yo, you got the best MySpace and all this shit. I'm like, what's MySpace? I didn't even know what it was. And the dude whose studio I was working, I was like, yo, I made you a MySpace. I got to teach you how to use this shit. And when I got on it, he showed me my private message. You know how you have your inbox messages? And I'm talking about all over the world. Yo, I'm your biggest fan in Korea. Yo, we at the Army base in Germany. Yo, I was just like, wow. Like, it got really real to me. And that's when I really started to learn the internet. And honestly, that was really my big blessing, because the internet was like, or a lot of people got to know me at first. Like I said, not only is Philly real proper with the people, but like a lot of the DJs and shit like that, they not quick to give you a shot. So for me, I really got my name and my buzz like working around that, and then it all started coming into play. But the internet, when I was seeing people from other countries and other states so hype over the Tone Trump shit, and you know what I mean, people just, you know, the women, you know what I'm saying, you're my favorite, and I'm loving you, and I'm here, I'm all the other. I'm like, damn, you weird, you know what I'm saying? Places I never heard of was showing me love, so I was like, we got some. It was dope, and since then, I wound up not knowing nothing about the internet to the point where now, you know, like I was, dude, in my city they was calling me the king. You know, the biggest DJ.
Right. You could be a guru.
Call me the king of the internet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, and then the World Star wave came, and I was on World Star like every day when it first came and got big. So the people I got the nickname World Star Tony, and it's just been like a steamroll. You know what I'm saying?
And you were on World Star when World Star wasn't even where it's at right now. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Way before.
Yeah, way before.
People attest a lot of that. And then after that, it was just one thing people always respected was my grind. You know what I mean? Like, people say, yo, you everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I took pride in that, and I almost felt like I had to live up to that. When people start telling you, it's like when people tell somebody they're a big tough guy, and they just start telling they got to just be tough all the time. So when people were telling me, yo, I love your hustle, I love your grind, I felt like I had to just constantly reinvent the grind, and constantly, if it was 2 days where I didn't have something new to post, I felt like I was slipping. So I would make sure I got something new to post, new to put up, new pictures, new announcements, new power moves, new meetings, new DJs I'm dealing with, new beats. You know what I'm saying? It's just always got to be something. New interviews coming out. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my name from. So that's why I'm such a a known hustler. So that's kind of like where I get that from, and I'm proud of that. And I'm trying to just take it to the next level now, and then the level after that. That's what I'm working on.
No doubt, man, definitely. And something else I wanted to bring up. Now, I know your upbringing was kind of unique to some other artists that might be in the game, because you were raised in a Muslim household, correct? Yeah, and do you think that plays a significant? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let me let you finish.
I was going to say, do you think that plays a significant difference or significant perspective on the way you come at your music?
I don't know about how it comes about my music. I do know it affects me as a man, And as a person,
Gotcha.
when people deal with me, a lot of people, when they deal with me, people see me, and they see my tattoos and my beard and my aggressive music, and then when they meet me or if they interact with me on the internet, they be so shocked. A lot of times people don't expect me to be as intelligent as I am and to be as nice as I am. Sometimes, to be honest, people are like, damn, you cool as shit. People be scared to say something, and then next thing you know, we talking for 45 minutes about shit, regular shit, life. I could be, if I got a layover in the airport and I'm talking to somebody about regular shit, they be surprised.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People judge you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people will judge you real quick. But as far as musically, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know yet. I'm still developing that part of it. So that's a ever-growing process. People got to understand, like, music is not even permitted in my religion. So it's not like people always, want, like, I'm not going to do Muslim raps or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the do music is a thing, really, for any religion. So,
it's a separate
that's why,
thing.
It's a separate thing. It's like even like if you're a Christian or a Catholic, whatever you are, a Muslim, a Jew, you're not supposed to be rapping about no guns and shooting people or girls and sex and without marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things that
it falls outside of that.
Because we base our music on reality. We base our music on being like we like ghetto news reporters. Like like when I do the Project WestSide Story, I'm telling you the reality of what's going on the West Side. I can't sugarcoat what's going on because I'm God fearing. Now, what I can do is I can try to make my message come across where it's not like I'm glorifying shit. Like when I say, yo, these little niggas is out here killing everybody, I'm not saying like, yo, let's salute them for that. I'm saying this shit is fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
That phrase they used to use.
Why are they doing this dumb shit? Yeah, so that's the thin line we walk with this shit for real.
Well, I mean, and that now, how do you feel about like I guess the social stigma that regarding like the Muslim culture that's been created by Americans ourselves, and how do you think that's affected like the everyday black Muslim or people that are under, the Muslim culture, just our stigma, that how it's been proclaimed in the media and all that? How do you think that's affected the average lifestyle?
Well, one thing you got to realize, brother, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, not just in America, in the world, period.
Right. And
only people that let the media judge what they think about something, to me, is an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to think people that say, well, Muslims are terrorists and stuff like that, it's like you can't. More Catholic priests has raped little boys than Muslims have blown up buildings in America. But you don't see people saying Catholic priests and Catholic men are all faggots and pedophiles. But because let me also say this, Islam is a religion of peace. So when people blow up an airplane or some shit like that, I don't identify that with being a Muslim.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I've never met a Muslim who wanted to jump and wanted to kill themselves. Suicide is the worst sin you could commit. So that doesn't have anything to do with my religion. So I think anybody that do that shit, just like, you know what I mean? Like I don't look at all Catholics like they're gay or they're pedophiles. So I don't think anybody should look at all Muslims like they're, I don't look at all Jews like that, the stigma of Jews being greedy and selfish. I don't look at all Jews like that. I know Jewish people who are giving and love. I know Catholic men who love women, who have families and aren't pedophiles. You know what I mean? I know Muslim people who are the nicest, most nonviolent people in the world. And I know people in all them religions who fucked up too. That's just like it's who you are, you know what I'm saying?
You can't generalize a group of people under one title or one banner. Like even someone trying to generalize white folks, Mexicans, or blacks. Our culture just as people is so diverse, and we have so many different backgrounds and so many different types of thinking, and we come in so many different shades. It's hard to go ahead and take one and just match them next to the next and the next and the next. It just don't work like that, So
what's funny to me though, and don't take no offense to this because I know you got a job to do, and I say this in a lot of my interviews.
Oh, go ahead.
I always get asked about being Muslim in interviews, but I never hear nobody ask no other rappers about their religion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I did an interview in New York one time, and the lady was like, well, aren't you Muslim? Aren't you not supposed to be doing this? And not as if other religions are allowed to do all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, these dudes who are quote-unquote Christians, they wear Jesus on their chains and be doing, you know, on the head of their so-called Lord, they wear this and be in clubs and do videos and all of this shit, but nobody says nothing about it. Nobody never asked Mac Miller or Drake about being Jewish. I never see it, but
right.
Muslims asked about it because of those different spoke of.
And my reasons for asking you was for you to be able to explain with clarification. You know, I have my understanding, but this is your interview, so I want you to be able to go ahead and speak on it. You know,
no, you asked about it in a respectful way, in an educated way, but I just want in my interview also to say that, you know, let's give people something to think about too, like, you know, and also Islam is usually identified with African American men more than any religion too. So people got to wake up and think why they try to paint us the way they paint us. You know what I mean? It's a reason why.
Yeah.
And it don't got nothing to do with nobody bombing no planes, because, like I said, all right, we want to be real. How many times has that happened in America? A so-called Muslim bombing a building, what, twice or some shit like that? So those 2 times compared to 6 million priests being accused of raping kids, but you never hear nobody saying to people about the priest thing, because the priest thing is identified with what? White men, white American men. So they don't want to, you know what I'm saying, put that stigma on that. But with the Muslim man, even going back to before the so-called terrorists, if you go back to when Malcolm and them dudes was doing what they was doing, they always tried to paint that in a light that wasn't positive. But Islam is about peace, man, and that's one thing people got to realize.
And we still, and you know, that's why in the question I stated how it affects the black Muslim, because that's really the face of the Muslim that's painted in the media. The Muslim face, you know, they continually found a way to go ahead and also throw black Americans in there. So basically, we're just another target. When you use the word terrorist, you're going to go ahead and think of us. And that's right. The code word that they wanted to be associated with who we are, no matter, go ahead.
You sound just like what you're saying now is what I say to people almost once a week. You're absolutely right, and that's the thing. And we got it as a people. We just got to be smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, luckily I'm talking to somebody like you who has knowledge yourself and you know what you're talking about. But more times than none, I'm talking to somebody who's really seriously, he's almost like they want to ask me, like, well, are you going to blow up a building? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like they want to know, like, I love life. I love life. I got a great life. Why would I want to kill you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to kill myself or nobody else.
I'll put it out there on our interview to, first of all, people need to do their goddamn research. We have all kinds of evidence leading to people within our own government that had particular agendas in having our towers and our shit brought down, you know, on all kinds of levels for their own political gain. So they have to go ahead and... Huh?
They're not ready to hear that, though, bro. You know, I know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said,
so they just go ahead and do your own research.
They don't realize the money somebody like the former Vice President Dick Cheney made off of that whole so-called terrorist shit and all that. Like, they have no clue. But to be honest with you, I'm trying to sell music, so I ain't even gonna get that political with it yet. I gotta get. I'm not
either. But you know what? Yeah. And it's all good because you know the conversation happens the way it's supposed to happen because that's just what it is. Yep. And sometimes those types of interviews need to happen to be able to break the damn mold of just the regular shit that everybody just want to talk about the poo-putt stuff, and we ain't gonna go ahead and settle for that. So, but I definitely feel you, bro. Definitely feel you. I know that a few years ago, going back to the music, you actually had started with doing a whole G Unit Philly thing too. You know what I mean? And if you had the chance to go ahead and redo some things, would you still go ahead and make that move and on doing the G Unit Philly and the way that you did it and everything like that?
Hell no. Hell no. What you live and you learn. What the thing was with that was, like, I mean, I was very, very young. One thing about my appearance when I first came in the game, I spoke very well and I looked older than what I was. You know what I'm saying? I was like 22, 21, and you know what I'm saying. And I was in the ghetto doing what I was doing, and then I get a phone call from 50 Cent. So you ask any 21-year-old at that time what they would have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was more so musically. It was supposed to be a TV show and all this other shit. I don't even like talking about that shit. I don't even know how. I'm trying to keep everything positive. I don't know how to not talk about it and sound fucked up. All I will say is, you know
what? Only talk about the positive parts.
Yeah. I just could salute. I got love for them niggas. You know, don't get it wrong. But like, you know, the honest answer. If I could go back in time, I just would have stuck to what I was doing and just keep pushing my movement. Because when it come down to it, Jeezy and 50 Cent, all them dudes, they black men who made it, and I salute them. But instead of working with niggas, I want to compete against niggas, and I want to work with niggas. I don't really want to work for nobody because, you know, if I gotta cook the food, I want to be able to pick my own groceries, and you can't do that being a worker. You feel what I'm saying? So I salute all them niggas.
Oh yeah.
On my spot, you know what I'm saying? That's all. Like I think I was put here for a different purpose, and it's not to be walking behind nobody. I think it's to be leading others. So that's what I'm trying to do. But it's no bad blood. It's all a learning experience. You can't regret nothing because the things you do in life takes you to the next thing. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like I said, I just wanted to hear your perspective on it because that's what the people are going to want to hear. You know. And,
yeah, definitely. I wish the show was dope though. We actually shot the show, and I wish it would have came out because I was definitely the star of that shit, man. I was salty when it ain't come out. I would have, I don't know, man. You know, but the Lord knows best. You know what I mean? That God didn't want it to come out, so it didn't come out. But I was the star of the show. The show was dope,
right.
But it ain't come out. You know what I mean? Like, but when you look back at things and wonder why this, why that, sometimes things don't happen for a reason, and it be a good reason. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you live and you learn, and you move on. Free Mike Knox, he was part of that situation. He locked up doing 7 years right now, so it's like I ain't in jail. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and, you know, 50 rich as hell, so he ain't worried about it. Like, so we all moving on. We all men, man. We all black men trying to make it. Like in the day, the way we got.
I'm just trying to function. Wintertime grind, so it's hoodies and constructions. Militant grind, militant mind. 10 on the windows and the stash for the 9. See the block all high. The streets so cold, no grind, no shine. You know how it go. I used to risk my freedom for some sneakers and clothes. Way before a nigga rap, I was getting the hoe. See the block all high. The streets so cold, no grind, no shine. You know how it go. I used to risk my freedom for some sneakers and clothes. Way before a nigga rap,
I got a badge right here.
I knew something was up.
What do you got in the trunk? You got some weed in here? What do you got? Brother, like I smoke weed. You look like you're doing a lot of
something
things.
Ain't feel right about that.
Like you might be doing some shit I don't like not having a warrant, officer.
One thing about them pigs,
Yeah, well, what's in the trunk?
they stupid, but they ain't dumb.
What are you afraid I might find?
Chitwood and that Uncle Tom Jackson, they move with motive. They wouldn't just take no chance pulling me over in the whip on a illegal search and seizure, knowing my Jewish lawyer beat that shit like a bad baby. They wanted me to slip up today. So it was definitely up.